Some people just like,
Hi everyone, I'm your host, Cooper. I'll be hosting for tonight. And with that, I will do some comedy. But in time I say stop it. Alright. I headed back here after winter break by plane, and on the plane there was this baby crying. And I wasn't, too bothered by it, but the guy who was sitting next to me was obviously very agitated. He turned to me. He was so agitated that he turned to me and went, "This was the worst thing that could happen on a plane." Really? I was like, the worst? If you Google plane, it'll autofill and crash. We're also on Spirit right now, which is really not good. But I didn't say any of that. The only thing that I could think of was oh my God, he forgot. They said to never do that. Head a little bit into a building. Okay. Recently, there's been a lot of these green bandanas around. Yeah, that's right. I have a prop. And it's supposed to be for mental health awareness. And but I didn't know that when I first saw it. When I first saw it, I'll be honest, I was like, why did people in Purdue get so gang affiliated? I didn't even know what gang was. I was like, we have the Crips, the Bloods, and I guess the Irish. But I was, I don't know how I really feel about these, because on one hand, it's really great that we're promoting, mental health awareness. I think that's great. On the other hand, how effective is the awareness really? Is anyone getting incentivized to seek help? Because honestly, I don't really think so. I don't think anyone is seeing this or wearing this. And they're yeah, therapy is for me. I think they're gonna put, all the resources and other things. They're gonna put it in caps, or they could have abolished 730s. I think that would have been just as effective. This isn't. I feel people still have depression after this. No one's gonna see this and be no, it's gone now. I've been thinking a lot about death recently. Mental health awareness. Specifically the afterlife. I don't really believe in the afterlife. My beliefs in the afterlife is similar to JFK's belief in the convertible. At first I was this is a cool idea. And a little bit later I was no, it's not a good idea. I don't believe in the afterlife, but I was talking to a friend who did, and I was hey, why do you believe in it? And he was well, I think it brings you comfort to know that you can look forward to something, when you die. And I was that's a fair answer. And then I was thinking about it, I was what? That's watching a movie and being excited for the credits. I really enjoy the plot and the characters are so great, but who produced this? Harvey Weinstein, okay, so are you happy? Are you happy? Afterlife, there's a lot of different people have a lot of different beliefs. People believe in reincarnation. I don't really believe in that. I think if reincarnation was real, I think we'd have a lot of depressed animals. Can you imagine you died and you just woke up as a cockroach? And you're where are my thumbs? I would want to kill myself. The figurative expression, it's raining cats and dogs, would be a literal thing. I do think hell's probably real. Out of all the ones that are, all the afterlife things, hell's probably the most probable. There's enough cases of people getting possessed by demons or something to make a case for it. You never hear about someone who's been possessed by Jesus though. No mom's kind of Reverend, there's something wrong with my son. He can't jump in the pool. and he's touching all of his classmates. He's saying, "Your sins are forgiven." And he came back from the dead. And the Reverend answers back and goes, "Did you say he was touching his classmates?" I'll be there. Okay, that's all I have for me. Thank you, guys. Up next, welcome our very own Charlie Billings, who's also recording tonight. So thank you, Charlie. This evening.
All right, thank you.
quick question. Why does the new iPhone, have 3 camera lenses when we only have 2 eyes? My girlfriend and I have been dating for 3 years, which doesn't really seem that long, but I think that's longer than most of my parents' marriages. Yeah. I remember when I first started dating my girlfriend, I was really scared to meet her parents, mostly because I didn't really know what to call them. I was like, oh, I can call them Mr. and Mrs. Johnson if you like. That'd be nice and polite. She says, oh no, you can't call them that. You have to call them Mr. Bill and Mrs. Michelle. I said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So to solve this problem, I did not directly address them for 3 years. Her grandma scared me too. She hated me. But dementia has its benefits. They know what I'm talking about. Yeah, her grandma hated Charlie, but she forgot who Charlie was. Yeah, I'm dating, she's technically a horse girl, my girlfriend. Let me make sure I enunciate that. Horse girl. She loves horses. It's kind of fucked up. I mean, the sex is good. I don't like wearing the saddle, though. We get in fights a lot, but I know how to handle it now. She gets mad at me and says, hey, easy. Oh, girl. Apple? Yeah, my girlfriend just found out that her cat has feline AIDS. I guess that's funny, but I'm more relieved to find out that it only goes one way. Karma's kind of a bitch. I was telling my mom, I was making fun of this girl that I work with because she's born premature. She was born 6 weeks early, and she doesn't have eyebrows. I thought that was really funny. And my mom told me I was actually born 6 weeks early too. And that was heartbreaking. I used to be self-conscious about it. If I was born on time, would I be taller? Would I be more muscular? Would my penis be on the outside of my body? But it has some benefits, I'm late to work a lot, and my boss hey, you're 10 minutes late. And I said, well, technically I'm not supposed to be here for another month and a half. So I have a little leeway with that. Okay, next joke. Bear with me for this one. I hate all the trash cans at Purdue, mainly because they just say landfill on them, they're shaming you for throwing things away. But at that point, I'd just rather litter, Earth isn't gonna yell at me, Alright, one little quick Hitler joke. Most people say if they traveled back in time, they'd want to kill Hitler, which, that's not very smart. I would gamble. Okay, bear with me here. I travel back in time, go to the hospital, go to the doctor, say, hey doc, how much you want to bet that baby right there grows up, fails art school, grows a Charlie Chaplin mustache, and commits mass genocide? And he said, all right, 3 things. Who are you? Who's Charlie Chaplin? And that's very specific. I like those odds. My girlfriend and I have been having sex for a very long time, in 30-second increments. But hey, I was born premature. Coming early is just what I do. Hey, thank you guys very much.
All right, everybody. So Cooper introduced them already, but parents are here from about 2 hours away. Everyone give them a round of applause. want to hear the first set. Clap after I get done describing it. First set is hotel. Someone may have wrecked in a vehicle. I got into a room that I shouldn't have. All right. Second set makes fun of one person in this room. Alright, I guess I don't need to finish describing that. Alright, so like I said, parents drove up from about 2 hours away. So I'm from Richmond, Indiana. It's next to the Ohio border. I'm not from Virginia, but like, it's not too far away, but it's far enough that I don't make it home every weekend, right? So I'll go serious periods of time between seeing my parents, right? And this becomes a problem because every time I come home, I realize that my mom is inching closer to insanity. And it's not a gradual thing because I'm not there all the time. It's more like when you see a little nephew who runs up to you and you're just surprised by how much they've grown. Like I go home sometimes and I'm just like, wow, Mom, last time I saw you, you were this crazy. Now look at you. What are they feeding you? Bread? Why are you freezing the milk? Yeah, so she's freezing the milk now. Why is she freezing the milk, some of you might be asking, and I'll tell you why she's freezing the milk. It's because she goes to Costco. She buys 9 gallons of milk on the so that she can save the 87 cents or whatever it is. And then she takes it back home and it's just her and my dad in the house. She's lactose intolerant. I don't know who that milk is for. Apocalypse milk. So I didn't choose to be single and childless. I was born that way. I've got siblings with children though, so I'm an uncle. I've got a nephew, his name is Riley, he's 8, and I've got a niece, her name is Ava, she's 5. Love them to death. Every time I see Riley, it's like, wow, last time I saw you. You know the drill. There was a birthday party for my niece not too long ago. Again, she's 5, and the birthday party was at a pizza place, so I went trying to be the good uncle. And all of the adults were busy, so I had to take my 6-year-old niece to the bathroom. I've never taken a little girl to the restroom before, Your Honor. I don't know how this is supposed to work. So I'm standing in the middle of the bathroom doors, just in decision coma, not knowing which one to go into, and I'm thinking to myself, grown women don't go into the men's restroom, so I can't take a little girl in, which is exactly what I should have done. So I look at her and I ask, do you go in the men's or the women's? And she says, who knows anymore? So I take her into the women's thinking I'm fine, and women, you are great at communicating even when you're not upset. When you throw anger in there, boy, it comes out fast. I walk in there thinking I'm fine, and they're just like, what are you doing? Why are you in here? And I'm like, what are you mad about? I have my pass right here. So I'm handcuffed behind a car. We get kicked out of there, and my niece looks up at me and she says, so men aren't allowed in the women's bathroom? And I say, no, not really. Are women allowed in the men's are women allowed in the men's bathroom? You know, we don't really mind. It's the darndest thing. I guess we just have more open-minded. So, I am getting to a point, even though I make fun of my parents for insanity sometimes, I am getting to the point where I'm a little bit older. Like, my first thought when I wake up in the morning isn't really like, I gotta get to class or I need to take a shower, but it's stuff like, what am I gonna take out of the freezer so that it's thawed out for dinner tonight? And I know I'm also getting older because after I've taken that out and I'm ready with coupon clipping and whatnot, then I'm starting to get to that point where I get to class, I just wish that I would have carried a cushion with me so that I could sit down. You know how awkward it is to be the guy carrying the cushion? But the thing that's really making me know that I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just too old is that I try to get to bed at 10 p.m., so that's my time tonight. You guys have been awesome. I'm going to hand it off to Cooper. All right,
quick public service announcement. I just want to make sure everybody's flossing their teeth. Yeah. Flossing is one of those things where, like, most people do it even if they don't want to admit it. No, wait, that's backwards. I'm thinking of porn. That being said, I mean, porn's not the worst thing you can watch. Like, the other day, I was doing something on my TV. My roommate walks in on me and he goes, "Oh my God, Sam, you're disgusting. Of all the things you could watch, you're watching golf? Can't you watch something exciting like porn?" The thing you notice is that, I mean, on those porn sites, they have all the huge studio stars who are 10% body fat and 90% plastic. You know, it's just like the trash can in the doctor's office. And they also have regular, everyday couples. And those are the kinds of people who just like film themselves with like an iPhone 4 camera. Like, they never show their faces in the videos. Like, what are you afraid of? Is someone gonna recognize you and call you out in public? Like, that'd be an HR nightmare. Like, you walk into work one day, it says, "Hey everybody, here's your new coworker." And you introduce yourself by saying, "I watched you have sex last night." What do you think? Why do people do it? Why do they put themselves on board? It can't just be for attention, right? There's gotta be some money involved. Like, we all know you can get monetized putting videos on YouTube, but YouTube doesn't treat their creators all that well. So if I make gaming videos, if I make really good gaming videos, can't I get monetized on Pornhub? Like, you log on one day, I wonder what's on the front page of Pornhub. Ah, sweet, Animal Crossing. Transitions are weird. I really fucking hate math. I mean, there's just no easy way around it. Math is hard. And some people might be good at it, but there are people who just enjoy the challenge that comes from math. So in other words, they're straight masochists. I mean, math has all the hallmarks of a cult. Like, you got the absurd memorization, the weird phrasing, symbols from an ancient language, the blind fellowship. You even have their grand symbol, the great unit circle. All hail the great circle. And really, like, before a math exam, you pray that you're going to get a good grade, right? Just like, imagine in the basement of the math building, they got their dirt floor there. Let's carve a unit circle into the ground. We're going to light candles at each 30-degree mark. Next, we need our virgin sacrifice, which is someone who hasn't been fucked by calculus yet. And let's summon a demon and see what happens. It turns out your demon is just some really short guy with greasy hair who wears an oversized polo and khakis, and his favorite word is actually. All right, spirits, what is the secret to passing this math class? Actually, the secret to being good at math is to study and do your homework. Well, the homework's fucking worthless if the professor ain't shit! All right. New motivation tactic. Gather all your friends. Whoever gets the lowest grade on the final has to get a tramp stamp of the quadratic formula. And that's all I brought tonight. Thank you all.
So I feel like there's certain things about you where if you tell them to people, that's like all you are, that's all you get reduced to. And I know that's really rich coming from like a white guy, but still, like, I feel there's some that apply to me. Like, the first thing is that I'm an engineering student, and to a non-engineer, that means that I am a super genius, that I'm just like an omnipotent god, which surprisingly is not true, okay? Because to anyone who's not an engineer, if there's something that you don't want to do or don't know how to do, just have an engineering student do it, you know? Like, me and my roommates, we bought a futon, and it can either be up like a couch or it can fold down. But to fold it down, you have to put the gears and assemble all the parts. So that's my job, because I'm the engineering student in the room. And that's why we purchased the futon, but we have a bed in our living room. And my roommates are like, "Kenny, you're in engineering, you should be able to do this." And what I say is, "Yes, you're correct." But what I want to say is, "Gee, that's what my 6-year-old cousin said when I couldn't put together his Hot Wheels track." Because I'm not just dumb by engineering standards, I'm dumb by all standards. And it surprises me how people forget that you can be smart and not be in engineering, okay? Like, my friend was like, "Oh, dude, I couldn't do the work that you do. I'm not that smart." And I'm like, Cameron, you're trying to be a neurosurgeon, okay? If I don't pay attention in class, someone has to fix my part that I modeled in SolidWorks. If you don't pay attention in class, someone with a brain tumor is gonna wake up thinking that they live in a pineapple under the sea. Another thing is that I'm in a fraternity, all right? And the thing is that I'm not in that sort of fraternity. But everybody says that they're not in that kind of fraternity, okay? Today, I could have been feeding the homeless all day with my brothers, or 2 minutes ago, I could have sniffed cocaine. But you guys will never be able to know. All right? But it's just hard, you know? People think that I'm like a champion drinker, which is also not true. Nothing will change the fact that I am clinically underweight, all right? I was at a party, and this girl was like pouring drinks, and I'm like, hey, take it easy, okay? You know? And then it's like, all right, but then my friend was like, oh, some kind of fat bro you are, Kenny. So then this girl, who happened to be Russian, decides to pour 6 lineages of her family into this cup. I was not happy. I drank it, but I was not happy. But more than anything else, the thing that defines me in the eyes of the Purdue community is the fact that I am from the great state of Florida. No matter how unlikely I am to like look like I'm gonna be arrested for shoving like oranges up Mickey Mouse's ass, I always hear about it. All right. Have you heard of the Florida man memes? Yeah, it's called the news for me. All right. And the thing is, where I live, that stuff doesn't even happen. That's northern Florida stuff. All right. I've never seen a drug addict like in the streets. I've never seen someone arrested for public nudity. Only one person's been eaten by an alligator by my house. All right. But all the high-profile stuff happens by my house. Remember that guy that got arrested for like sending bombs to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton? That guy got arrested 10 minutes from my house, all right? And like the cops that shot up the UPS truck and killed like 2 people, that was down the street from my mom's job. So still, none of my roommates or like none of my friends will ever come home and like see me at my house. Never, it just won't happen, you know? And then like people think that because I'm from Florida, I'm incapable of like adapting to seasons, even though I've been here for 2 years. All right, I've been here, I could be dying, like bleeding to death, and I'm like telling someone my address to like send my earthly possessions to. And as soon as I get to Florida, the last words that will ever be spoken to me are, "So how do you like the snow?" All right, but listen, I've vented. All right, I've gotten a lot of anger off my chest. I want to end on a reconciliatory note, bring people together. So if you're from Indiana here, raise your hand. All right, let's see the Indiana people. All right, fuck all of you guys. I'm tired of taking shit from people from Indiana. Okay, from people who think that putting taco meat in a bag of Fritos is a delicacy. If we're comparing former governors, okay, my former governor might look like Voldemort, but yours won't be in the room with another woman who's not his wife, okay? I'm tired of hearing shit about it, all right? Good night.
Stand by for their very first time. Let's welcome Kyle to the stage.
Hello everyone. Hey. All throughout my life, I've always enjoyed stand-up comedy. I've admired the greats, George Carlin, Bill Burr, among many others. But, I always wanted to perform stand-up, but I never really knew where to find that. It changed for me about a month ago, and I was minding my business in a walk bathroom stall, and I happened to notice a flyer on the stall. And I was like, what is this? Something I can finally do besides look at my phone for once. So I looked at the flyer, and it's this advertisement for this stand-up community. And I thought, why not go to that? I went 4 weeks ago, and I have to say, I like it. I see these comics before, I see professional amateurs perform, and they do pretty well. And I thought to myself, hey, if professionals can do it, why not an amateur like me? And so, hey, what's the worst that can happen? If I bomb, you guys can laugh at me. If I do well, you guys can laugh with me. So at the end of the day, you guys have entertainment, and my ego might inflate or deflate. So next up is usually the part of any stand routine where the comedian tries to explain their life, and you guys pretend to go along with it and care about it. So I'll keep this quick and fast. My name is Kyle Alvarez, and there's one thing to know about me is that I am a Florida man. Now, I just kind of realized a few seconds ago that I had a routine about being a Florida man, and I just kind of realized the guy before me was also a Florida man. So that creates an interesting contrast. Now, for people in this, here who live underneath a rock or in a carry closet, a Florida man is anyone who happens to live in the state of Florida. Now, Mr. Carry Closet might be wondering to himself, well, why do you call it a Florida man? Well, it's kind of simple. Anytime someone in Florida does something stupid, the national media will come make, get clicks out of it, a headline that reads, Florida man does X. So usually this X could be anything. The most famous one was a few years ago, a Florida man was high in the streets of Miami. He was a bit hungry, and he was walking on the streets, and he sees this guy just doing nothing. And he thinks to himself, what if I eat his face off? Thankfully, that wasn't the start of the zombie apocalypse, but you never know. Another story involves a Florida man taking an alligator from the Everglades and bringing it to a Wendy's drive-thru. And when he gets to the drive-thru, and the drive-thru operator, for lack of a better word, opens windows, there's hard, welcome to Wendy's, yada yada yada, he looses the alligator onto the operator. Now, for all of those who are worried, this story has a happy ending, because while the alligator was creating a ruckus in the Wendy's back room, or back lots, the manager was able to stop the alligator by looking her in the eyes and telling her, excuse me ma'am, this is a Wendy's, not an alligator free-for-all. So, after 18 years of living in Florida, I decided I've had enough. I wanted to change the pace, something that was a bit different. So I looked at all 50 states. I wonder, what state is the opposite of Florida? Lots of people, a little bit more sane. And I thought, Indiana, what else can happen? But I realized that Indiana people, Hoosiers, are just as same as Florida people. The only difference is, Florida people like to make their shit public, while Hoosiers keep it on a down low. Shit, I sound lost. Yep, so, you guys ever heard of, wow, I actually really lost. Okay. Thank you, sir, yes. Wow. So, on the point of people being the same, I think Indiana, the university has the same kind of phenomenon as Florida men. If you walk down the State Street around 11 p.m., you will see people who are drunk out of their minds, and they are prime Florida man candidates. Or if you want some mythology, ever heard of the walk mad shitter? It's the same thing, folks. Now, there's one thing that I've grown accustomed to. It's the winter. Well, not accustomed to, I've just learned to cope with it. But I feel like the one thing that separates me from everyone else is that people here, natives, have a family of a support network to cope with. I, however, have a network of bullshitters. Back home, around January, I'll get calls from my family telling me how cold it is. They'll say, Kyle, it's 55 degrees. I can't stand it. And I know it's bullshit, but I'm a family man. So I have to go with it and let them know that their bullshit is valid. But if there's one thing you can take away from this, make sure to care for your Florida man. But if you complain about the weather being cold, it's 50 degrees, please slap some sense in the person. Thank you.
Up next, let's welcome Dominick to the stage, everyone.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Woo!
I said, how's everybody doing tonight? Come on! Thank you. I'm gonna be honest, the weather sucks in Indiana. Like, look, it's not that I haven't dealt with cold. I'm from New Jersey, and it snows there a lot, whatnot. But, in New Jersey we have seasons. And so, in winter, it's for like 5 to 7 weeks, and then that shit stops. Indiana, it's like, okay, so it's gonna be 65 today, and then tomorrow, you're gonna love this. It's gonna be ball-bustingly cold. Now, some of you may be inquiring, Dominick, what exactly is ball-bustingly cold? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, ball-bustingly cold, that's a tongue twister, is essentially the temperature at which a man's penis becomes erect inversely. It waddles back into the body like a turtle's head going back into its turtle shell. And speaking of things that were ball busting, 2 weeks ago was Valentine's Day, and I'm single once a day. But I think it's because I have what's called stupid brain. And when I say that, it means that sometimes I'll have a thought, and that'll go into my head, and it'll be in there for 30 seconds, and then I'll just say that thought without thinking about the consequences of my actions, even if it's a bad thought. Like, for example, I was talking to an employer at a job fair a couple weeks back, and so he was talking to me, and the conversation dipped where it was my turn to say something. And so, you know, my brain said, say anything, which is a terrible fucking idea. And so I said, oh, so the deal's still on ice? That's not a phrase! That doesn't mean anything. There was no deal, there was no ice. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. But then, here's the thing. He flipped it on its head, man. He goes, yeah. Wait, hang on. Was there a deal? Was there ice? Was I not paying attention? I'm equally as confused. But it's not just with employers. If it was just with employers, I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's with girls too, which is more than likely why I'm still single. For example, this girl moved in across the hall from me. I didn't know the guy moved out, but apparently he did, so she was moving in. And I walked outside and I said, hey, are you moving in? Which was clearly obvious by the boxes she was carrying, so already stupid decision. And so she goes, yeah. I said, did you do a co-op? Because she was moving in the spring semester, which is weird, like moving halfway through the semester. So she's moving in, and normally when someone moves in, maybe you do a witty one-liner, you know, just get her laughing, whatever. I said, why are you moving in? She goes, well, I had to move out because I had a bad roommate. A normal person would say, oh, bad roommates. I've had a bad roommate, or bad roommates. I've heard stories of roommates. Not me. I had a thought. And I said, oh, bad roommates. I know about bad roommates. My friend had a bad roommate who needed to be removed because he was masturbating too much. And I said that like that was a normal thing. And that, combined with the scooter that I drive daily, does not make me look like a reasonable person. I get it. I have a meth face. I'm an Indiana 6 and a California 4. All right? I get that. But all three of those elements combined is not a good look for me. But don't worry. I'm taking a class to try to fix this. It's called interpersonal skills. Yeah, Purdue offers that shit. Now my dad couldn't have... Say it? EDPS 315, she's in it. She knows what's up. Thank you. I told my dad I was taking that course. He's never been more excited I've ever done in my academic career. I said to him, I go, I need to take I'll speed it up. I need to take, you know, a liberal arts requirement. And I was like, oh, what's this? No. I'm like, what about interpersonal skills? He goes, oh, take that! You need that shit, take it! And I was like, okay, kind of hurtful. I get it, but whatever. So that's my time. Hopefully I won't say anything stupid on the way out, so I'm just gonna leave.
Good work, man. And welcome JT to the stage. Let's
go, JT!
Tonight's the fucking night I bombed, bro. I can feel it.
Woo!
Give me 1 second. I didn't memorize my shit. I would say that. Why the fuck did you fucking... Wait, where's Cooper? Yeah, I can't make it to the Mad Mushroom Mic on Wednesday, man. I didn't know what else to tell you. Except when I'm the center of attention. Okay, so fucking stupid way to start the show. Okay, so I just turned 20, and you know, growing into adulthood, you realize that the flaws that you developed as a kid just don't really fly as an adult. Like I, for one, am like really, really impatient. And I'll tell you an anecdotal example. I was walking down University Avenue, and there was this like really fat old lady walking in front of me, right? Guys, I haven't said the joke yet. And so she was walking really, really slow, right? And it made it even more frustrating, right? Because you see old people, right? You see fat people. You don't exactly see the Venn diagram of that. Survival rate's not that good. Like seeing an old fat person is like seeing a dinosaur in the literal sense. How are you still alive, man? Actually, I was the meteor that killed the dinosaur. Okay, carry on, dude. So like, I couldn't get past this woman one way or the other, right? I mean, she's everywhere. And like I said, right, I could feel like my flaws coming up deep within me, right? I'm really impatient, so I wasted no time in pushing her down. She fell to the ground too fast. Dude, I had to do it twice. The second time I had to get a running start. And she fell, and then she just laid there, and then she braced for impact, and I'm like, who needs reaction time? So I was like, okay, well, this is embarrassing for both of us, because now she's so big that I still have to step like over her, but my legs aren't that long, so I have to step on her leg. It's not too late to make choices in life that are better for you. That's me. That's those are my choices, and that is who I am. I feel like, after what transpired, I had to look deep within myself, really look at the flaws that I have as a person. And after that blatant act of violence, I truly am a better person. I'm so thankful that I did that. So another huge flaw about me is my rampant porn addiction. It's really bad, man. It's not even a joke. This is fucked up. When you watch porn so much to the point where you notice small things that annoy you, you're an addict. The production value. Sometimes they would blur a porn star's face out like a black bar or a pixelated thing on their face just to protect their identity, because you're pissing into some poor 19-year-old girl's mouth on camera. God forbid someone sees your eye color. Fucking idiot. Keep making those vids though, I mean. Normal porn doesn't do it for me anymore. Where am I even going? I watched this one video where not only was the face blurred out, but also the voice was artificially deepened, It's so weird. It's you ever see those TV documentaries where they're interviewing someone, but they want to protect their identity as well because they're confessing to some bad shit. So they only show his silhouette and they deepen their voice, right? That was basically what this porn was like. It's just oh yeah. I'm about to come. I committed tax fraud. Oh. Damn, that pussy tight as fuck. That's all I have, man.
Up next, we have Tristan. Let's welcome Tristan to the stage.
Hey everyone, this is my second time here. And as my parents said when they had my little sister to try to save their marriage, second time's the charm. That's a joke. My parents are still divorced and I am still the favorite child. So it's time for me to talk about my issues with porn. Aren't you ready for this?
Woo!
The big thing, my issue with porn is that all the videos are all rooted in adultery and this weird loophole-y incest, which strangely enough even makes horny me feel really uncomfortable. Whenever I watch porn, I'm looking for some good, wholesome content. No, so when I search porn, I'm looking for that BBCC, big black Christian cock. I want to feel the love a little bit, So, speaking of segues, I recently bought this lightsaber. It's a movie quality Anakin lightsaber, and I chose the Anakin lightsaber because he's a huge inspiration for me, my favorite Jedi. I love the way he killed all those kids in episode 3. So I keep this lightsaber on my bedpost. Just in case any girls even think about trying to take my virginity. That joke is actually a bit too real. I am terrified of having sex, and the main reason I'm terrified is the idea of possibly having kids, even at the slightest, because I don't know what'll happen. She'll get pregnant with twins, she'll die at childbirth, my best friend and a frog will kidnap them. One of them will be a princess on a planet, the other's gonna be a dirt poor farmer on another planet. They're both gonna show up to my place of work and blow it up. And that's just the first movie. I don't even want to get into what the weird relationship between my grandson and my boss's granddaughter, which is just a blatant cash grab by Disney for nostalgia purposes. I know what y'all thinking, is this nerd gonna make any more fucking Star Wars jokes? No, I'm gonna talk about an actual issue. Bullying. There's not enough of it anymore. Do you guys know where furries come from? Furries come from when horse girls and girls that were on Team Jacob during the whole Twilight thing were never bullied. Now, I did my part. I bullied a kid in middle school. Please hold your applause. Now, he was super weird, okay? He actually was my current middle school girlfriend's ex, and there was this really weird pet name that he wanted. Daddy Mufasa. Now, hold out. She fucking did it! She referred to him as that. That aside, he deserved to be bullied, all right? So our prime way of bullying him was we would just ignore his whole existence, pretend he wasn't there. So if he was saying something or made a joke, we would just respond with, "Did you hear something?" Did this for about 2 years, sure made him question his whole existence. So I see him in high school, and he started making friends with some more popular kids, like the football players, you know, the ones with the full ride scholarship but a constant concussion. So I walk up to him because I love awkward social interactions. I say, "Hey man." What he does is he turns to his friend and says, "Did you hear that?" Hell yeah! I bullied him into doing that. I made him that cool. Apparently though, I didn't bully him enough, because our senior year, it turns out that he might have had some intimate relations with a freshman. Yeah, real bad stuff. But I know what you're all thinking. Same thing I was thinking. Did he make that 14-year-old girl call him Daddy Mufasa? Thank you, that's all I got tonight.
Up next, we have Grace. Let's welcome Grace to the stage, everyone.
I could not be less prepared for this. It's not. I hate drug dealers, man. Why do they have to make shit so difficult for me? This is obviously a joke that nobody here is going to relate to. Because we're all good law-abiding citizens here. Yeah, no crackheads in the house. That's what I thought. So if this joke flops, this is your fault for all being nerds. Drug dealers. They gotta be so cryptic. Like, I'm trying to talk in plain English so that each party involved knows perfectly clearly what's going on, and I've found that that is best practice for illicit dealings, is it not? Then they've got to text me back some shit like, "Bet are you sliding through? I'm about to get scooped, ah ha ha." And I'm like, shut up. You are white and from South Bend. Oh my god. It makes me wish that I never fell in love with the guy who got me into drugs when I was in high school. I mean, for a lot of reasons, but now I have to deal with drug dealers. And there's no getting around that. There's no forgiving that shit now. They love to send you on scavenger hunts. I'll be like, "What's your address?" And he's like, "I'm on Main Street." That's a road. That is not an address, but I want weed. So I go to Main Street, and I'm like, "I'm here." And he's like, "Bet the house number is 123. And I'm like, "Okay, we'll go to the other side, go all the way down the street. Get there, and it's apartment building." I'm like, "I'm here now." And he's like, "Cool, go to the 5th floor." And I'm like, walk up to the 5th floor, and then I'm just standing there in the hallway in the 5th floor, and a piece of paper slides out from underneath the door, and on it, like written in like cut up letters from newspapers and magazines, it says, "Mike lives in apartment 2C on the 2nd floor. And then I go down to the 2nd floor, because by the time I get there to actually get the weed, I'm going to need this joint. I'm going to need it. So I walk down to the 2nd floor, and I knock on apartment 2C, and he opens the door, and a cloud of vape just exits. It billows out as he opens the door, and it's 3 dudes who look exactly the same. All of them wearing their hoodies wrong. They're all wearing their hoodies wrong, like, you know, with like right here, you know, and I don't even know how it stays there. It's just like this, and I don't know how it gets there. But it's just 3 of them, and I don't know who Mike is, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just staring at them for like a few minutes, and then one of them goes, "I'm Mike." And so I get my weed, and then I jump out the window, and I break my neck on the pavement because it's not worth it. But it so is. It so is. I can't wait till weed is legal realized that I get customer service at dispensaries. Holy shit. I can't wait. Oh my god. The edited version of that joke that I'm going to show my parents is, I hate drug dealers, man. Who would be dumb enough to think that I would want to buy drugs? Hey guy, I have a life. Ever heard of it? And it's fine though. My parents do drugs. It's fine. They know that I do drugs. They also know that my little sister does drugs. That one was recent, a recent thing they learned, and a thing that they handled very differently than from when they found out I had drugs. They found out I had drugs, and they took them and they smoked them all. They smoked it all. I was 17 years old, and they smoked all my weed. And my little sister, who is 16 right now, if any of you were here, have heard any of my other sets, she's the whore that I talked about before. I love her though. It's fine, it's fine. She's the whore. She's 16. My parents found her weed and they gave it back to her. They returned my little sister's weed to her. She is 16, and when I was 17, they smoked all my weed, and that's it. That's the whole story, and I'm still sad about it. There's no getting over that for me. That's all I've got for you.
Awesome, James.
I was writing the jokes for this, and I realized halfway through that they were all going to be about sex, so strap in, or strap on, whichever. So ketchup bottles. I like ketchup bottles because, like, with ketchup bottles, you gotta really find the right spot, and then you gotta really work for it, and you gotta keep pounding away, and then eventually you'll reach that moment where you get some ketchup. But that's also why I really hate the ketchup dispensers that they have in like Ford and stuff. It's like 2 pumps and you're done. Like, come on. And then you got somebody behind you who's like, look at this 2-pump chump. And they last longer, but you know they're half pumps. Like, come on. Unpopular opinion for straight males, like, dicks are kind of fun to play with. But I think I only need to play with one in my life. Like, that's where I draw the line, you know? But, you know, if I was in a competition to see, like, who could fuck more people, and I was down, like, a couple scores late, you know, I think I might, you know, go for 2. Pussy is like, pussy's like Play-Doh but better. Fun to play with and to eat. I think I could come up with a new line of pornos. I want there to be one that's just ugly guy fucks girl out of his league, and it's from the point of view of the guy. I also want to see one where it's like limbo, but it's limbo, and then like the girl goes under and she accidentally hits the pole, and then he's like, well, I guess you gotta suck my dick now, and she's like, no, you're my step bro. I think the worst sexual act you would do instead of like watching a sporting event is a good way to measure like how much you like that sporting event. Like, I think I'd rather suck dick than watch a whole baseball game. But like, if you like baseball, that's your thing. What are the other ones? Oh fuck, I didn't write down the other one. I think a basketball game, I'd rather like eat somebody out, but like not if I was high. Like if I was high, I feel like I'd be like midway through and I'd just be like, you know what I could be eating instead of this? Like I could have a hamburger, I could have some fries, come on. And then like, I'm a big soccer fan, so I feel like even if my dream girl came and asked me like, all right, so do you want to watch this soccer game or have sex with me? I'd be like, so who's playing? That's all I got. Thank you.
Up next we have Will DB. Let's welcome Will DB to the stage, everyone.
We hate to see them leave. Sorry I scared you away, folks. Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? I pre-gamed for this. I had a can of whipped cream and I thought, why not? I've been really obsessed with boners lately. Because, I was reading an old Batman comic and I didn't know this. Apparently, like the 50s, the word boner didn't mean erection, it meant mistake or fuck up. I didn't know that, and I'm reading a Batman comic, and the Joker's like, yes, I will foil the Batman by making him pull a boner at his own lecture in front of the entire city hall. Like, he pulls it off, and Batman's like mad, and he like beats the shit out of him, and he's like, I will make the Joker rue the day he thought of my boner. And I'm just like, wow, this is really good. And another term for, another old school slang term that means something different today is hard dick. Apparently hard dick meant stern advice. And so Batman's like beating off in his cave or whatever, and Robin's just like, Batman, are you okay? He's not okay, oh God. Alfred, Batman needs some hard dick right now. And like the fucking headline says, Batman has the biggest boner of the centuries. Point is, I just love the idea of boners as plot devices. And I've just been thinking about it, and like, where else can you incorporate boners? So let's get the obvious one out of the way, Schindler's boner. Smuggling him into Nazi Germany. That one's obvious. The next one I thought of was like, E.T., the boner terrestrial, just... Why is E.T. home? Fuck. Another one... Ooh, I can't tell that one. No. I thought of The Boner Strikes Back. The sword fight in that is incredible. Otherwise, it's just Chewbacca with his dick out. It's okay. Another was Boner. Yeah, or like Titanic, because boner doesn't work for single word titles. It's like, I'm on top of this dick! Don't let me go, Jack! It works as a flotation device. Okay. Point is, I'm obsessed with boners to an unhealthy extent. And that was my mental health struggle for Mental Health Week. And I feel like I've grown as a person. In several ways. But, speaking of mental health, anxiety, that thing people with shitty personalities use as an excuse. I've got it. And the thing is, anxiety manifests itself in very, very weird situations, in ways you wouldn't expect. It's not like, okay, I'm about to go and tell shitty jokes about boners with, someone's mom in the crowd. It manifests in my interactions with the people I'm the most comfortable with. One of my best friends is a wonderful person. She's very, emotionally empathetic. So to a weird, almost freaky extent. She can walk into a room and just instantly psychoanalyze you. Just let's see, anxiety, depression, daddy issues, foot fetish. Just really good at it. And and so she gets the look on her face, just I'm like, okay, she's about to drop some wisdom and think of something really profound that will improve your life. The problem is, I don't understand what that means a lot of the time. Because, there's one question that you should never ask to a person with anxiety. And that is, what do you want to eat? Because, the safe option is just I'm fine with anything, I'll roll with it. Because I don't want to say, I want Chipotle, and then they don't like Chipotle, and then they get mad at you, and then they don't like you anymore, and then you die. But the problem is, we wanted to get some food together, and she asked me that, and I'm like, gee, I really don't know. Anywhere that you like is okay. And she's like, well, how would eating at Chipotle make you feel? I don't fucking know! I'm hungry! And like, she was parading me around like a baby, like, we're in Noodles and Company. They serve noodles here. How would eating noodles make you feel? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think I want noodles. And like, then she got the look. And I'm like, oh my God. She's discovering the reason why. She's gonna fucking look into my life. What is it? Why can't I pick a place to go? Does it have to do with my mom? Oh God, why is my mom hot now? It's just it's a bad thing, man. It's a bad thing. Anxiety sucks. Just like the ending of my set. Thank you so much.
You ever wonder if golf's an onomatopoeia? Or golf? I landed over there. You know, golf was invented in Scotland. I can't imagine why they don't really have an English channel to antagonize the French with. They're going to take over the Albinon, say, this one's landing a croissant. Golf. Normies can get it. Get them next time. Next time the English, they played golf, trying to get those Frenchmen. There was a bit of a draft, and the ball, it flew to the east, it landed in the Netherlands. It hit a windmill. That's when those golf players, they got the bright idea that it was going to be an eagle. Because that's like when you have two under par, that's called an eagle.
No.
Reminds me of bowling too. They came up with these weird words for bowling. That one went into the gutter. They made a robot to play bowling. It didn't do very well. It didn't get a strike every time. You couldn't get all the multipliers. It was still a pretty good job.
Let's go, Jake.
I feel like every time I always go after Randall, and I don't know what to do after that. I'm going to carry on the theme of talking about porn and boners and old people. I know. What else can you do? Been watching a lot of podcasts lately, or listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and
I noticed there's been a lot of like erectile dysfunction ads. I'm not sure what's going on in today's world, but apparently we're not getting boners. I think because our phones are listening to us, because I know I'm getting these ads because I'm always crying when I'm listening to porn. And I've always noticed there's a lot of like old people commercials who can't get hard, and they're always talking about how this can help them with their sex lives, and they're always like playing tennis as they're like talking about their side effects. And I'm just not sure what getting a boner while playing tennis has to do with it. But have you ever been to the gas station and you see like those male enhancement pills? What do those do? I literally want to know what those do. I remember as a kid I would see those and I'd see that the male enhancement pills. And I thought like one, it might give me superpowers. And then I want my mom to buy it and I want her to try it because I always want to know what it'd be like to have like 2 dads. You ever like when you're talking to somebody, you actually like you spit on them? And it's super awkward because they're like, oh shit, and you like want to wipe it off, but you don't know if you can touch them or whatever. I remember earlier this week I was talking to the guy, and as I'm talking, I accidentally spit and it got on his lip. And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, no, that's fine, I got it. Hey man, we don't do that. That's not a thing. A couple months ago, I got high for the first time. It took me a while, but it's fucking great. I mean, that was a lot of fun. I know I sound like that guy that, did weed for the first time. He's like, hey, tried weed before? Tried weed? Tried weed? Mrs. Campbell, please don't tell my mom I did weed. I smoked the weed, or it was an edible, I think, I don't remember. But it was my fiance and I was like, hey, let's have sex. Like, I think that'd be great. Like, I feel it, I'm floating right now, and we're getting in the mood. And out of nowhere, she goes, you know what'd be great? Let's watch Baywatch. Let's see Zac Efron and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in there. That's what I need to see. Back to Charlie's joke. He's talking about his horse girl.
Thank you.
I feel that because my ex, she would watch horse porn. Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, middle school was crazy. How do I want to end this? I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember where I am, but I think that's all I got. Thank you.
What's going on? Woo! Yeah, we're gonna talk about some real shit though. But yeah, I mean, I've been coming to these mics for a good amount of time, just like the beginning of the school year. And I started off watching it first, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a try. And I've been going on, and I've been coming up, and I met some pretty cool people in the club. I feel like everybody's pretty cool. I mess with the vibes and everything. And it's just amazing. They're amazing people, and they have really funny things to say. I have nothing bad to say about them. But there is one thing that most of them cannot say. Actually, there's one thing that most of you all cannot say. I mean, you can say it, but you probably get some shit for saying it. And that is the word nigga. You see, I can say it. Yeah, fuck it. But saying the word nigga is like a superpower. It's like a superpower that only some of us possess, And for the ones that aren't allowed to say it, sorry. I didn't make the rules. But if I did, I'd be a fucking millionaire. You know why? Because I would handcraft and distribute nigga passes for the low price of $1,000. That means you can say it whenever you want, however you want, with no repercussions. Just imagine a white guy walking down the street, fucking a guy mowing his lawn. Howdy, nigger, how's it going? He's like, the fuck did you say to me, man? He just flexes his ass off. Carry on. I mean, imagine the amount of jobs and lives that would save. Like the guys on Twitter that like say nigga and get caught on video and get their ass beat afterwards or some shit like that. Or just imagine celebrities that got in trouble. I mean, Paula Deen will still have a fucking TV show. Donald Sterling still be the fucking owner of the Clippers and shit, you know? But if us blacks gave us something like that out, we'd expect something in return. And that something would be, I don't know, we don't want no weak shit like representation through TVs and movies or anything like that. that shit doesn't work, you know? Like we still end up as statistics. Like look at Black Panther. That nigga got a movie and he ends up dying. Like what the fuck? And then look at Hancock. That nigga went to jail in his own movie. I'm like, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Now I'm telling you what we want. Something that we want is reparations. Not the reparations you're thinking of, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't need money. We can spend it on something fucking stupid like a gold steering wheel or 32-inch rims or something like that. We'll probably fucking buy out Popeyes for this. No, you know the type of reparations I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of for one Black History Month, every 10 years, it will be the purge for black people. That means you do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, it's a fucked up idea, but I don't know. We're trying everything. Donald Trump's president, so. No, but it'll be the purge for black people. Just like, imagine niggas sitting outside a Foot Locker at 11:59, January 31st, like it's Black Friday or some shit. Just imagine me walking into the bank, like, going to withdraw $10,000 of other people's money. No. No, in all seriousness, no, this is the serious shit I was talking about. In all seriousness, Black History Month needs to be respected, though, and I feel like that it has encouraged me to go out and understand my own history, understand things that I stand for, and things that my people have come from. And, you know, when I look back when I was like 11 or 12 or something like that, and I found out about Emmett Till for the first time and seen that image, sort of burned, you know, like a mental image in my head, you know, it was real fucked up. And I'm just gonna say, we've come from a long way, we've got places to go, but we've made progress though, you know? So that's amazing. And I'm making my own black history, you know? I'm having sex with white women on the regular, you know? This is the shit that MLK dreamed for. Thank you for having me, I go by the name of Franko. This shit's nice, I like seeing like a huge fucking crowd. Thank you for the support and everything. Just say, I don't know, cheese, sex.
Out today, thank you guys all for coming out. Once again, we have that open mic at Mad Mushroom on Wednesday. It's at 9 p.m. So if you can, stop by. With that, have a safe night, and yeah, well, thank you guys.